Cooks. Shoot your arrows! Cooper Kupp plucks it out of the air and gives the Rams the lead. Robert Wood, touchdown! LA! Goff goes crashing into the end zone. Aaron Donald creates the fumble. Everett in stride! Wow!
Taylor Rapp, who had one taken away, will take this into the end zone.
Henderson with a good run and a first down, still on his feet.
Picked off by Troy Hill. Malcolm Brown into the end zone.
Caught, touchdown, Tyler Higbee. Picked off by John Johnson.
Intercepted and returned for the touchdown. Sean Robinson,
Safety in the arms of Leonard Floyd. Abu Khan with the strip sack.
And going deep. It is intercepted by Jalen Ramsey.
Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl. LA will play for the Lombardi.
Welcome back, guys, to another Downtown Rams podcast. It's episode 288. I'm your host, Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me, as always, is Alexis Kraft. And this is another draft season podcast edition with nearly 2 weeks away from a crazy NFL draft. Obviously, been doing a lot of profiles over on downtownrams.com. If you haven't, be sure to check those out. But we have two interviews for you today. Two guys that we've actually profiled on the site. We have Michigan State inside linebacker Joe Bachie. He will be the first one. And then we have Nebraska inside linebacker Mohamed. A lot of fun talking with both of these guys. Two guys that I could definitely see wearing the horns this upcoming season. Two guys that the Rams, as you will soon hear, indeed met with. So let's get a little bit of a background on them, and hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, guys, joining the show, we have Michigan State inside linebacker Joe Bachie. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. I'm great, though. Back in Cleveland, Ohio, with my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Glad to hear you're doing well. And just to start this off, we just want to hear a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
How I got into the game? I think I was kind of just tossed into it right when I was born. My dad always played it. He was a high school coach when I was born. He was a high school coach for about 20 years. I've always been around the game. I can remember being 4 or 5 years old, going to two-a-days with them, just hanging around. I've always been around the game. I've always enjoyed it. And it's just taken me this far in life, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, and, growing up, did you have a favorite player you looked up to?
I never really had a favorite player as a young kid, just because I played so many different sports. I was never specialized in anything, but one thing I got a little older, I knew as a football player, linebacker. I really looked up to Luke Kuechly a lot, watched a lot of his film.
Yeah, he was a great player for sure. And, when was it, you talk about playing football growing up, but when was it that you decided that you wanted to do this for a living?
I think once I signed the papers to go to college, it kind of solidified it. But, as a young kid, 7th, 8th grade, I knew I wanted to be professional. At that time, I didn't know if it was going to be football, basketball, or baseball. But I just, loved the lifestyle of professional, waking up early, getting it in, working hard, taking care of your body. And I just wanted to be professional. Football, just what my body turned into, maybe an inside linebacker. And, I just ran with it since then. I went to college. My college career went how it went. And, I'm excited for what's coming next with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of looking at it, you chose Michigan State. Obviously, they're, a big-time program in college football. But what made you choose Michigan State? Because obviously there were other programs that were, of course, after your talents.
Yeah. I always wanted to play Big Ten ball. I grew up in Ohio, Ohio State fan. I didn't get that offer that I was looking for, and I knew I wanted to go play somewhere in the Big Ten. Michigan State at the time was having the best years that they've had in a long time under Coach D. Once they offered me, I committed right in speed. I knew that's where I wanted to go. Me and my family talked about that. Once the opportunity came about, I had to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and just looking back at your time at Michigan State, is there one memory or maybe a couple memories that stand out to you as being your favorite moments from your time playing college football?
2017, I'd say, when we traveled to Michigan. Our class at the time, or our team, was a lot of sophomores. and it was kind of our first away game together. And it was a big game, obviously. I think it was like our fourth game of the year, fifth game of the year, going to the big house. We went there and we ended up winning the game that a lot of people counted us out of. And we, came back home, celebrated that win. That win was huge for us.
Yeah, big-time game, obviously, going up against, a fellow rival program. That's always going to be the case. With that being said, playing Big Ten ball, like you said, you went up against a lot of tough players, and this might be a little hard to narrow it down, but is there anyone that you would call the toughest player you went up against in college?
The toughest player? Oh, man. I think the first time I kind of realized that, I can't just get past everyone who's being a little better than him was Ohio State my sophomore year. I think their center was Billy Price at the time. A great center. I think he's still with the Bengals maybe. But I remember him running up to him my first time and saying, all right, well, it's the top of the Big Ten right here, so get used to it.
Yeah, totally. And this next question is just an interesting one that we like to ask prospects that come on this show. But would you rather be the most physical or the most athletic player on the field?
Most athletic. I don't know. A lot of people probably say most physical, but being athletic, getting away from some of the other guys, getting some of the bigger guys and making some plays would definitely be a lot better for me than just running the 330-pounders.
That's a good explanation there. Yeah, well, we just actually started asking that question. It's always fun to get, an answer from that one.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that answer first time.
Well, we didn't ask you if you were a cat or a dog. With that being said, Joe, what would you say is your biggest strength as a player?
My football IQ, just understanding the game, studying the game, being a student of the game, and just taking that, to practice every day to the field on Saturdays in college and now on Sundays, hopefully, and just taking my intelligence, what I've learned throughout the week, being able to take all that information and apply it to the game.
Yeah, and as the draft approaches, is there anything that you're looking to improve on?
At this time, no, but you're always trying to improve your game. But I think at this point, teams kind of know what they're looking at when they're scouting me and looking at me, understanding I'm a good person. Football IQ is my strength, and I'm a passionate guy. But once I get to a team, I just love to keep showing them my versatility, and I'm more than just kind of the old school linebacker.
Yeah. Now, here's kind of a fun question here. Is there a tight end or a running back that you most want to cover in the NFL?
Ooh. I got to think about that one because obviously there's such great tight ends, great running backs. I feel like, the best, in-space guy, best guy to try and cover is Christian McCaffrey. Trying to go up against him would obviously be a tall task itself. So, if you're going to try and play in the NFL, you might as well try and go for the best.
Yeah, definitely a challenge for sure with him. But this next question is kind of in that same vein. If you had to pick a quarterback in the NFL to either intercept, sack, or force a fumble on, who would it be?
Tom Brady. He's the best of the best. He's the GOAT. He's been there, done that. So to say you intercepted him or, forced a fumble on him would be, that'd be something special.
Yeah, we get Tom Brady a lot as an answer, so definitely not a shocker there. So just want to, ask you because, this is the portion where we start talking a little bit about, the Rams portion of this interview, and we are a Rams podcast. What were your thoughts on the Los Angeles Rams last season? Is there anything that stood out to you, defensively or just anything in general?
I've paid attention to them for the past couple of years because of Aaron Donald, obviously, all the noise that he's brought to the Rams. Jared Goff's one of the guys in our agency, so I paid attention to him a little bit. My buddy Brian Allen's the center there, so I've paid attention to him a little bit. But I've heard nothing but great things from them. Talked to Brian a couple times recently, and The LA Rams, from what I know, is a great spot, great coaching staff, great organization. So obviously it would be a great place to go play if they gave me that opportunity.
Yeah, and we have to ask you, have you met or spoken with the Los Angeles Rams yet?
Yes, I met with the linebacker coach at the Combine. I've talked to one of the I've been in touch with them just like a lot of teams, and I think he called me last week, the last time I talked to the Rams, but a lot of good news coming from them, I think.
Yeah, well, we certainly like to hear that, a fan of your game and what you bring to the table. Last question for you, Joe. Who is Joe Bachie as a player, and who is he as a person?
Wow, those are two totally different people. A player, you're on the field, it's different when, the love for the game, the passion for the game come out. You're the ultimate competitor. You hate to lose, and that's kind of what sums up me on the field. The guy who just goes all out, and just wants to win. When off the field, I'm a guy who's laid back, likes to have fun, likes to hang out with his friends, likes to have a good time, enjoys himself, enjoys family. Kind of the softer side outside the field, but, once you get inside the lines, it's a different person.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. We were really excited to talk to you. We're big fans of your game. And whatever team you end up on, we're going to be cheering for you and rooting you on. So thank you again so much, Joe, and we hope all is well with you and you stay safe.
Yeah, you guys too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Joe. You take care, and good luck with everything. Let's keep in touch, man.
I appreciate that. I will.
All right, joining us on the show, we have Nebraska inside linebacker Mohamed. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
It's going well. In these times right now, all I can ask for is great help, and that's what I have. I've been fortunate right now just to be training and have a place to work out in, and so everything is good with me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome to hear. And just to start this off, we just want to hear a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
Well, that's an interesting question because it wasn't easy. So basically, a short story. I got a long version and a short version. I'm just going to go with the short one. So I basically had to beg my mom to play the sport, I was always fascinated with how, I guess masculine, macho the game was, more of a gladiator sport. Just how physical you had to be and how just looking at, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but just looking at the Falcons, looking at Atlanta, just looking at people like Mike Vick, Ward Dunn, and people like that play the game, and I just was fascinated. I loved the game, and I wasn't able to really play it except for outside at, recess or, play some pickup street ball. So I wanted to play organized football, and I had to, ask my mom and really beg her because she wasn't having all the, the big hits. All she hear about from the game was how people was getting concussed or, like crazy things like that was happening to people. And finally, in sixth grade, she gave in and gave me my shot, and that was my first year playing football.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's good for you that you were able to win that battle because as a young kid, I actually went through that, and I unfortunately was not, and then I ended up getting into baseball and never unfortunately played football, but good for you in that regard. Now, you mentioned Atlanta. I want to ask you if you had a favorite player in particular growing up that was in the NFL.
Growing up in Atlanta, I would say everyone's favorite player was Michael Vick. You talk about one of the most electric players to ever play the game. I looked up to him. But oddly enough, my favorite player was Tom Brady growing up. And let me tell you the story behind that because everyone always gives me stuff about that. It was a book fair. I remember. It was a book fair. I wanted a football poster, and all the football posters were sold out, and there was only one poster left. And no, it was two posters left. It was like just an Atlanta Falcons mascot poster, or it was a Tom Brady poster. And I wanted the poster with the actual football player in it. So I got the Brady poster, hung it up. I was pumped and stuff like that. And I became a New England / Tom Brady fan. I didn't even know he was good until I looked him up, So he was actually, and then just hearing his story of being the underdog, being the guy that, had to prove all the naysayers wrong and had to, transform his game and progress into the best ever, made me just keeping up with his story just makes me, love him more as a player and respect his game.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, you mentioned him and Michael Vick, but were there any linebackers growing up, whether it be through grade school, middle school, high school, that you modeled your game after?
Oh, Ray Lewis, Ray Lewis. I like Sean Taylor, a safety, because I used to like playing safety, DB, stuff like that. And so it was Eric Reed in LSU. Guys like that. So really, I would say Ray Lewis the most. And in college, when I got it, more knowledgeable about the game, even so, I started studying Levante David, who played for the Huskers, seeing how he plays and how he make plays, and it's so versatile. But we have the same body build, we have the same weight and height. And I think, that's someone I really, even like right now, that I always look at his film and see what I could take from his game and I could add to my game. So there's a lot of guys. I would say as a younger guy, I would say Ray Lewis. Right now, I would say Levante David, because he's more like me. I'm more like him.
Yeah, Mohamed, I love that you mentioned Levante David because, in your senior season, you became the first Cornhusker to lead a team in tackles back-to-back years since Levante David. So I like that you brought that up. Want to ask you a question here. When did you know that you wanted to play this game, not just for fun, but you wanted to actually make a living out of this?
I don't know. For me, the game and we had a great relationship all my life. I would say it's a relationship because it's since a young age I found that whenever I lacked or whenever I didn't hold up my end of the bargain, I would suffer the consequences. Just like in any relationship you form with anyone, it's not one-sided. It's not what all the game could give to me. It's what I could give to the game and what I put into it and stuff like that. So I had a form of appreciation because the emotion behind this game, just the energy that I feel, that's what I love about it. Like maybe people, could buy and say, I don't know. People have different interests. For me, it's just when I'm on that field and that feeling of success, not in just the result of the actual game, but just a success in a play, everything is worth it. All the dieting, all the workouts, all the extra work, all the film, everything is worth that one play being successful. And the feeling I get just from that one play, and it accumulates to an entire game, and it accumulates to a team effort, and accumulates to a winning season, to accolades, to everything. Is why I play this game, and that's why I love it so much. And that's when, and I had that feeling since the first time I strapped up. I remember my first practice, I had on my cleats, it was day one of 6th grade practice, and we was helmets only. And I remember having my pads on, my thigh pads, my pants, everything on, and I was ready an hour before my mom was about to take me to practice. And that was the love I continue to have, the urgency, the appreciation of this game, and understanding it's a working relationship that works both ways.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really love that answer. And, you obviously start playing football and it comes time to play in college, and then you end up going to Nebraska. What was the main factor for you in choosing to go there?
It was, my recruitment was different than others. If you tap back and look at how that went, I had other factors, as in, academic factors. Besides those, besides, looking for teams that will work with me in my academic struggles, the other component was just having a team that, their fan base, their coaches, everything about the organization was about football. And that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go a program that lives, breathes football and loves the game and appreciates the game as much as I did, as I do. And, Nebraska is no better fan base, is no better, school when it comes to, dang, do these fans actually love football? Do they actually love the game? And will you feel that energy? And then I went to go to a place where I would be focused. I don't want to go to a place in a big city where, let's say if I had to develop. So how I did it was like worst case, best case scenario. So how about if I had to develop, with me being in Miami, would I be focused enough to go through 4 years and actually transform myself, or will I take step back because all of the, off the field partying, or you never know. So I just wanted to go to a place where I could stay focused. They love football. They breathe football. And when I'm in that stadium, it's 90,000 people, and that's why I got in Nebraska.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love everything about that answer. Very well thought out, and I didn't even really. It doesn't really even occur to me. I like that you brought up that you didn't want to go to a big city so you could just kind of stay focused. And I really think that was a very responsible thing to think of during your recruitment. With that being said, obviously you go to Nebraska and you have yourself a hell of a career. What was your favorite memory, play, or even game that stands out the most while being a Cornhusker?
I would say Colorado, 2018. I would say that game because, it was a time that I was waiting for. Since I came to Nebraska, I wanted to show the fans, I wanted to show my coaches, my peers that were recruited with, that not only was I, just want to be an okay football player, but I wanted to show them that I'm a game changer. I'm an impact player. And I'm one of the best players on the team, and just getting the respect from our teammates. So that game, coming out, making plays, feeling the vibe, the energy, feeling dominant out there, feeling like I couldn't be stopped. I felt like that was an important game, and that set the tone for for the rest of the games to come after. So I think that Colorado game, 2018. My favorite game that I ever played.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, you played with a lot of really, really talented guys in college, but you also played against a lot of really tough competition. Is there any one or two guys that stand out to you as being the toughest competitors that you went up against during your time playing college football?
I would say J.K. Dobbins. I would remember playing him the most because, I remember sophomore year getting my first TFL versus him, to me and him meeting in the hole in 2018, and then me and him meeting in the hole again in 2019. We had a lot of matchups and a lot of equal, punch here, a jab here, a jab there, haymaker here and haymaker there. So, it was a running back that really, I felt like, it was a great challenge because he ran hard, he was physical, he was quiet, but he played with passion. And those are the kind of guys I like, not only on my team, but I like facing because I feel like, it makes me better. So every time I played him, I knew I got better, and I hope I gave him. And I know, after watching the film, I gave him my best shot also.
Yeah, and you mentioned, being physical, and physicality is one of the big, stalwarts to your game, just, going through the film. But on top of that, you have the athleticism to play linebacker in the NFL. So I want to ask you a question here. Would you rather be the most physical player on the field or the most athletic player on the field?
Me, this what I say about athleticism or perceived athleticism. You see a lot of these guys, and you say like 40s or all that stuff, and it's cool, what you could do when you have a 3-point start or blah blah blah. And if that's athleticism, then it don't correlate to football really, because I remember just watching some players. Back then, I remember as a Ohio State linebacker like 3-4 years ago, fastest guy out there or something like that, and it didn't really correlate to the field. But with that being said, I would say, if you have that physical mindset, because no one come out there and be like, I'm about to be the most athletic guy in the world. It's either you have it or you don't, But if you have to go out there with a mindset. You see, being physical, you have to have a mindset. It's not something that you just have, you do have or you don't. It's not something that, okay, I have the one game and then the next game I'm just gonna have it. You have to press it. You have to focus it. And every physical player will tell you that. They have to, come in there ready. So I'd rather be physical, because I feel like just with someone who's focused on being physical, oftentimes hustle is part of his game. Oftentimes he makes those plays because he's trying his hardest every play. So I would say I'd rather be the most physical, because, athleticism in the game of football is important, but it's not everything. And you could control how physical you are more than how athletic you are.
Yeah, I love that answer, and I totally agree with you. And, kind of touching on that, you talk about physicality, but you have many strengths, in my opinion, as a player. But in your opinion, what would you say is your biggest strength as a football player?
I would say it's just, like you said, I feel like I'm just an ultimate football player when it comes. And when I say that, I mean in the sense of my mindset. You would say, I could run sideline to sideline. That's because I focus on running sideline to sideline. I practice running sideline to sideline in practice, And that's the same thing when I trigger holes, when I read my keys and everything goes slow motion, I trigger, and it's like I just feel a spark, and next thing you know, I'm making a TFL in the backfield. So I would say just my mindset, my preparation. I would say that all those things come when you prepare, when you're ready, when you have great practice habits, and nothing is just given in this game. I would say everything is earned. So I would say my preparation, my honing into small details in practice. I could cover. I haven't been covering a lot in my film, but if you see how fluent my hips are, stuff like that, I definitely can. And with the right coaching, learn the techniques, I would be great at that. But I would say stopping the run is my best. Well, I do the best. I think I do it the best in the nation. I would say just when you talk about a guy that could be physical, when I hit people, they go backwards. I'm relentless. I'm going to make plays that I'm not even supposed to make, and that's what I do. So I think I got many strengths, but to just sum it up in one, I would say my mindset is my biggest strength.
Yeah, and to add to that, you play with a motor that is just flat out rare. You never turn off when you get on the field. So I think that's something you didn't mention that, but you have this energy about you that doesn't Like there's no end to it. So I do love that. I think it's honestly infectious because you're in the middle of the defense and you're setting the tone. You're a tone setter and that's what you do. But looking at the other side, what are you looking to improve on the most heading into the NFL?
On everything. And again, it's not everything you have is either you get better or you get worse, So I would say on literally everything. I want the opportunity to learn from the best coaches, the best mentors. I want to up my game and basically just evolve as a player in general. I want to be better in the run game, the pass game, and diagnosing plays. People say I need to be more patient, and that comes with confidence and that comes with understanding. So that's a trait that's something you could develop, and that's what I want. I want that understanding, that concentration, and stuff like that. So I just want to learn from the best and get smarter as a player and learn techniques and things of that sort. So I would say at everything. It's none that I would say I'm the best at. I would say like I'm the best Mohamed at right now. So I feel like I could get better at a lot of things, and I'm just scratching the surface of my abilities.
Yeah, and this next question is just something that we're always curious to ask different defensive guys who come on the show. But is there a scheme that you would like to play in more than others?
I would say I was fortunate to have, I guess fortunate and unfortunate to have three defensive coordinators, play in a 4-3, play in a 3-4, play in a 3-4 aggressive, in a multi-D type of setting. I played in every scheme possible, I would say. Played every coverage. So it's not really I found a way to make it work for me. So anything, you just put me in any scheme and I will make it work. I mean, I do love the 4-3 because it's gapped out most of the time gapped out defense, and you're able to just, own your gap and really get downhill. The 3-4, you have to really shuffle a lot and play off your linemen and rely on your linemen to swallow some blocks for you. And, I like to just make plays. So I would say, most linebackers you talk to will say they love the 4-3 more because the run, how simple the run is. But I could play any scheme. I don't have no preference, really.
Yeah, I like that you broke that down a little bit. Here's a little fun question for you. Who do you most want to cover in the NFL, whether it be a tight end or a running back that really stands out to you?
Well, I would love to cover Alvin Kamara, actually, as a running back, because just growing up and playing in Gwinnett County, he was that guy in Gwinnett County. He played for Norcross. I played for Grayson, and he's a guy that I would love to cover, just because I never got the chance to face him, and that'd be cool to face him and cover him.
Yeah, for sure. And if you had to pick one quarterback in the NFL to either intercept, sack, or force a fumble on, who would that be?
I would lose my mind if I ever even touched Tom Brady. So yeah, it'd be Tom Brady. Yep, I would say Tom Brady, definitely. Unless we on the same team, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely get Tom Brady most of the time. He is a popular answer on that question for sure.
Of course, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, so the next question here, because we are a Rams-centric podcast, but we love delving into the draft and getting to talk to all of you guys and what you guys were able to do in college and coming into the NFL. Want to get your thoughts on the Los Angeles Rams this past year, if you had any chance to, watch them, watch their defense and what they do as a whole. I know they have a new defensive coordinator, so if you know anything about, Brandon Staley or Vic Fangio's defense, feel free to chime in on that as well.
Well, honestly, I didn't watch a lot of Rams football this year. I know I was rooting against them when they came to that Super Bowl about 2 years ago with the Patriots, but I'm sorry about that, but a lot of changes happened ever since that time. So a lot of changes. That's what I noticed about the team is just extreme amounts of changes. Todd Gurley, Peters, Love, just a lot of things that happened. Y'all have a great D lineman, of course. And that'd be great as a linebacker, and playing behind him will be fantastic, So I would say just a team that's going through a lot of changes right now. And shoot, I would love to be a part of y'all.
Yeah, and have you met or spoken with anyone from the LA Rams?
Oh, yeah. I spoke to, I think, two of y'all scouts, spoke to the physician also. I've been talking to y'all a lot, actually, so and that's why it was ironic that y'all hit me up, so it's been good.
Yeah, well, we like to hear that. Obviously we talked a little bit yesterday, and I've been putting up some of your clips of your tape on Twitter and getting that name out there. Feel like you did a lot of good things over at Nebraska, and maybe they weren't as appreciated as they should have been. So looking forward to seeing that. But one final question for you before we let you go, and really appreciate you coming on and giving out some great answers to all of our questions. But Mohamed, who is Mohamed Barry as a player, and who is he as a person?
Great question. Mohamed Barry is a smart, energetic individual that loves the game of football more than anyone else. No one will outwork me, no one will out-hustle me. I love the game, and I respect the game and understand that it's a working relationship between the two. I have to give a lot to receive a lot. I love my teammates. I love any organization that get me, getting a guy that will invest in the organization as much as the organization invests in me. Again, I want to play this game forever, and I want to be a part of this game forever. I'm a man of character, a man you could trust in, a man you could have a relationship away from the game with. And I'm going to be a guy that everyone will but will respect around the program.
It's awesome. We love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. We really, really enjoyed talking to you. We're big fans of your game. And we wish you the best of luck going forward. And please feel free to ever, reach out to us if you ever need anything.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, Mohamed. You take care. Stay healthy, be well. Wishing all your family, all the health, and good luck with the draft. And let's keep in touch, my man.
All right. Thank you. See y'all. Appreciate the opportunity. Bye.
Absolutely, man. You take care.